Hey, what's up? Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So Chris, I just do the opening and welcome to the Mekashkesh Festival, design, illustration, and visual art. 2 days. We are in the second day, almost at the finish of this marathon, and really excited to have us Frenemy, Chris here, and I want to say, okay, I just want to say that our sponsor, okay, we got this festival is sponsored by Elementor, a website building platform for professional web creators such as designers, developers, and marketeers. Elementor is a fast-growing company looking to hire talented designers to join their top-notch design department. So check out Elementor's open position at career.elementor.com. And we can begin by saying, מה קורה Frenemy? מה קורה Chris? How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah.
But you remember a little bit Hebrew.
I know. Actually, I know a lot, like a ton of vocabulary, but I can't speak fluent. But I know a lot of vocabulary.
Yeah. So you don't remember Manishma?
Manishma, of course. Manishma. Yeah.
So, we begin with tell us a little bit about yourself, so the audience will know, get to know you.
Sure. I'm originally from the U.S. I'm a street artist, a mural artist. I also do gallery work and illustration and design work. My background, I started off as a graffiti writer, and then started doing murals and stuff with my character work, and then from there went into like doing illustration and design stuff, and also working with art galleries. So.
And right, we got followers. Opal said that now that you are a tattoo artist.
Oh yeah, now I'm working actually also to learn to tattoo. So switching it up in these trying times. Yeah, I'm working with my friend here in Malaysia at his tattoo studio. So learning to tattoo. So.
And I want to begin actually with like you're 20 years or even more like doing this art, right?
Yeah, I've been painting graffiti. I started painting graffiti in 2000 and around 2000, 2001. And then, so yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually want to hear how was it back then for you?
Well, when I first started painting graffiti, it was like not really socially acceptable and as popular as it is now. You know, like painting street art and everything. And now it's so much more acceptable. Like when I started painting, it was definitely not, and you wouldn't like share with people like, oh yeah, I paint graffiti. They'd be like, what do you do? You know. And nowadays the attitudes have changed so much, which is a good thing. You know, it comes with a lot of opportunity. But when I first started painting, I never started painting with the like idea of like, oh, I'm gonna make money from this, or I'm gonna get paid to paint murals or whatever. It was just for fun, you know. I was just being like a hoodlum. Yeah. So and then over time it's developed into something else, which is cool.
And if you can tell us about like more about the culture back then when we didn't have like Instagram and stuff like that, and like to.
Yeah, like I mean, like back then, like you would just like, especially like for photos and stuff, you use disposable cameras, and like maybe you would never get a photo of it or whatever, and like it was more about like the act of doing it, the fun of doing it, and like the outcome was of course cool, but you're mainly doing it for like the people in your city, the other people in your city who do it. They'd like see it as well, and then like it's just like a little community of graffiti and street art people, and it was a lot different than it is now. Now into popular, cool, and they think, oh, I do street art, then I can get in like art gallery, or I can do this. But back then when I started out, it was never even a thought. It was just something fun to do, like I said. And then over time it developed into being able to like get paid to paint murals and stuff. But
and you always on your website you wrote down that you doing children books and all these characters. You have these characters you going with, they were always with you, like 20 years ago it still was these characters, or it was something that grew up with you?
so I always was into like drawing, and like since I was a kid, I learned how to draw from copying like Where the Wild Things Are and Dr. Seuss, and then comic books and stuff like that. But when I started painting like on the street and stuff, I didn't paint characters. I did graffiti, like lettering. Like I made friends with a guy who was into graffiti, and he invited me to come paint with him one day, and I went with him and I had fun, so I just stuck with it. So for the first from like 2000 until 2009, all I painted was like graffiti lettering, and like was kind of my art school. I didn't go to art school. I didn't go to school. I just learned from like everything I know about art. I learned basically from that, and then just drawing on my own or whatever. But and then around 2009, I tried to switch to painting characters. I mean, because I always drew them, I just never really tried to paint them. And then started painting my character stuff, and then people really seemed to like it. So then I kind of switched to doing that. Well, I mean, I still paint letters stuff sometimes, but it's nice because it reaches more people. So I switched to the character stuff because I realized, oh, not only graffiti writers are like seeing this and digging it, like everybody likes it. And so that's kind of how that started.
And the connection to like graphic and illustration and stuff that you did on your daily basis. I guess you didn't earn money from graffiti, so
no. So back then, I mean, when I started painting graffiti, I worked at a grocery store, and I used to sing in hardcore bands. So I would like work and then go on tour with my band, and come back and then work at my crappy job that I hated, and go on tour with my band. And that was like the main thing that I did. And then when I started painting the character stuff on the street, and I also started doing paintings around the same time, like painting at home a lot. I was living with a friend of mine who's a tattoo artist, and I would just sit there and paint with him. And that's when I started doing working towards doing the gallery stuff I do now, painting with like watercolor and gouache. And then I started showing in coffee shops and stuff. And then I started getting people asking me, hey, will you design stuff for my band? And then like I lived in Austin, Texas at the time, and I was already in the music scene there. So those same people, like the clubs and stuff, saw my work, and they're like, hey, will you design posters for us? We'll pay you to design posters. And I was like, whoa, people will pay me to like designs to do. There was never a thought in my head, I was like working at a grocery store as a manager of a grocery store and stuff like that. I was like, I was like taken aback, but I just ran with it. And I said, yeah, sure. And I didn't know how to use Photoshop. I didn't know how to use Illustrator really. And I said, yes, I'll do it. And then I called a friend up who worked in design, and he came over and installed it for me, and it gave me a rundown. And then from there, I just taught myself like through YouTube and everything. And the ball just rolled from there. Started doing illustrations for like magazines and stuff. The big music festival in Austin, I did all the design work for, called Fun Fest. I did a lot of different stuff. So, but from there, it was all just like self-taught and came from people liking my graffiti and street art.
So you got a chance to get to know designers and to work with them, and then you got discovered from them, and then that came.
So I got discovered from my like graffiti and stuff, or my street art and stuff, and then I had a friend who was already working in graphic design, and then I had he helped me out when people started asking me to do design work for them, and I just say yes, even if I didn't know how to use Illustrator stuff. I just said yes because I mean, I don't know, I wanted the opportunity, and I don't know, and I was like, I can just learn it. And yeah, my friend taught me, and and then from there, I just taught myself everything else that he didn't know. I just would, Google it, YouTube, or figure it out, So.
Yeah, and today, like back then, you thought about online store and stuff like that, or selling your stuff, or it wasn't something you?
Yeah, actually, around then, around like 2010, I started doing an online store as well. And I started screen printing my own shirts and doing stuff like that. Because also coming from the like DIY hardcore and punk rock scene, where you do it yourself anyways, like making zines and making making t-shirts for your band or whatever, that all that kind of thing was already instilled in me. Like I can just do it myself. So yeah, even back then I started like as soon as I started doing stuff with my more art related paintings and design stuff, I started just doing my stuff, trying to sell my own stuff, having my own online store. But
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what year did you came to Israel with your wife, and
yeah,
how?
we moved overseas in 2012. And we lived in Korea first. We lived in Seoul. We were in Seoul for a year. Then we moved to Vietnam, and we lived in Ho Chi Minh City for 3 years. And then in 2017, I think. Yes, we moved to Tel Aviv, and she was working for the American International School in Evan Yehuda. We lived there for 2 years, and then now we're here in Kuala Lumpur.
So how is it different between Tel Aviv and Seoul?
Totally different for sure. Yeah, totally different. I mean, I love both places for different reasons, but they're very different. Seoul is Seoul. I don't know. It's like great. Feels almost like if you see Tokyo or something, it's similar to like pictures of that. Like, yeah.
But okay, let's talk about the community of artists, because you get to move a lot, and then you get to know artists and the community, and to get to know. I think in Israel you got some good friends, and still in connection with. You want to talk a little bit about your connection? How was it to coming here to Israel first time, to the desert and everything?
Yeah, it was great. Actually, I really loved my time in Tel Aviv and in Israel. I loved it. I didn't really want to leave, but also it's very expensive, and it was a little bit harder for work and stuff for me. So coming back to Asia was a good thing for me, because I work with the art gallery here in Asia as well. So, but as far as connection goes, like everywhere I've gone, because I do graffiti and street art, I've been able to automatically make friends everywhere I go through that. And then you automatically kind of get tapped into the art scene wherever you're at, and you get tapped into like find people who are just like you and everything like that. So like in Seoul, like when I moved there, before moving there, I reached out to this artist called Junk House, who's like a pretty famous street artist there. And she hooked me up with people when I got there. We painted together, and then I got into an art collective with them and did a lot of cool stuff. And then same when I moved to Tel Aviv, I reached out to graffiti writers there. Well, I actually had a friend from the States who painted in Tel Aviv before, and then he hooked me up with some graffiti writers out there. And then from there, made a lot of amazing friendships. And I've been back to visit once actually since leaving. I loved it there so much. Yeah.
So it's like it's more than just Instagram accounts, I guess. But they say that it's okay before COVID and everything. You can meet people and just paint together without knowing anything about them, just doing your stuff and art, and basically that's it.
Yeah. I mean, well, Instagram helps a lot actually for meeting people. That's a part of it. But yeah, like I think art connects, and it's an easy way to make friends and connect with people everywhere I've gone. And Tel Aviv actually was for painting, like street art. because I lived in Florentine. I lived near the Levinsky Market actually and like the Florentine like is insane. Like I could paint. I could just paint in the middle of the day and like nobody cared. Cops would drive by and wave at you. It was freaking crazy. Like, so I took advantage of that while I was there and painted a lot. And I made a lot of amazing friends while I was there. A lot of painting partners that I paint with all the time, like Mitsugazer and the Misk, two of my best friends, and we would paint together almost every weekend. It was pretty awesome.
And
I think I saw somebody ask a question if what my family thought about painting graffiti. So my family didn't know that I painted graffiti until around when I started painting murals and doing more legit stuff. It was something I kept very secret. I didn't tell people that I painted graffiti like openly. It was just something that I did for fun, and because it was so illegal, I didn't really tell anybody. But then once I started doing murals and more like legit stuff, where then my family knew, and then only then did I tell them like, oh yeah, I've been painting graffiti forever, and that's how I know how to use spray paint and how I. So yeah, I got arrested once for graffiti in 2002 when I first started. I got arrested for it and went to jail for like 3 days. The police raided my house. Like, you would have thought I sold crack to children or something. I painted on an abandoned building, and it actually scared me. Like, I stopped painting graffiti for like a year. Wow. But I was already so addicted to it. I really liked it. After a year, the kind of scaredness went away, and I started painting again. But the police, like a SWAT team, came to my house and kicked in the door for painting on a building. Like, they were trying to say we were a gang, and connect us to gang activity. We painted like bubble letter graffiti on like an abandoned building. But the U.S. is insane, you know, in Israel you would just get a ticket, you know, but the U.S. it's like they treat everything like real crazy. So,
okay, that's the reason I guess that you don't live there right now.
Yeah, we left and I don't plan on going back.
And it's a good question. Someone wrote you about inspiration, that you really travel a lot. So do you think there is some place that is giving you like the most
inspiration? I think everywhere along the way definitely I've gotten a little bit of inspiration from everywhere I've been. And a lot, especially living in Asia for so long, like I think I have a lot of influence from that, like the kawaii, cute characters stuff, like big eyes and all that kind of stuff has definitely been a big influence on my work. But yeah, mostly that kind of stuff. And then also the different artists that I painted with, more so maybe than the actual place, because I don't usually like put too much like stuff based on the place I've been into my work, but maybe influence from the artists I surround myself with.
Yeah, definitely. And you want to talk about color a little bit, because you really are into colors. So you want to tell us how you work with colors, how you choose them?
Sure. So yeah, my work is super colorful, and I like bright colors, and actually a lot of that comes from my graffiti. Like if you were to look at the graffiti lettering that I used to do, paint, all kind of patterns I use, the bright colors, all of that stuff comes from the graffiti I used to do. So when I would paint letters, I would use bright colors, and and like back then, I used to sing in hardcore bands and stuff. I wore like all black all the time. I was kind of angry. I had like punk t-shirts on with like a metal logo. And then I would paint this graffiti that was like bright pinks, and like, I liked it that my graffiti didn't look like I would paint it. And I don't know. And I'm attracted to bright colors and stuff. And I learned color theory and all that stuff from painting graffiti. And I just took that and put it into my art, basically. So, yeah. So, and I don't really understand. I don't know how I pick the colors and stuff I do. I just do. I use acrylic gouache, which is this brand of gouache. that has like neon pinks and neon yellows and stuff like that. Unfortunately, you can't find it in Tel Aviv. Like I always had to order it whenever I wanted to get it, but or get it outside and bring it back in. But it's a really nice paint for anybody who's listening that paints and wants to use really bright colors. Holbein acrylic wash. It's super nice.
So okay, so just like practice make perfect with colors, that's what you said.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I want to ask you about a little bit of like a side project and stuff like that you're doing, if it's stickers or whatever that moves you.
What is that about?
About side projects.
Oh, side projects. So, I mean, currently, I don't really have any side. I mean, I like a comic book that I've been working on forever. With COVID and everything being closed down so much, I have stopped making stickers like I used to. I try to make stickers or stuff. Recently, I've been really into making GIFs when I have the time. I really enjoy making GIFs. But I pretty much been spending all my free time nowadays painting tattoo flash, because I'm learning to tattoo from one of my best friends here. So I've been doing that a lot, and which also is stylistically, I'm still gonna always do my other work, my paintings and stuff, because I work with an art gallery here in Asia, so I'm constantly painting work for that as well. So right now I'm working on a bunch of work for a solo show with the art gallery when COVID's over, but then I'm also painting a lot of tattoo flash, but more in the American traditional style of tattooing, if you know what that means at all, like bold lines and but then also with my take on it a little bit. So
yeah. All right. You have some in your room to show us?
Sure, I can get some. Hold on, let me.
Yeah, sure.
So like this kind of.
This is all handmade.
Yes, hand painted. Yeah.
Wow, it's watercolor or no?
So for this, I use liquid. What is it called?
Oil?
Sorry, I'm tired. So no, it's not oils. It's acrylic ink. So it's like, oops, where am I going? Here, acrylic ink.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm painting like this kind of stuff.
All these details.
The acrylic ink is fast. So like one of these paintings I can paint in one sitting. Like it's quite quick. It just you do all the black first, and then do all the black and shading and stuff, and then you just do the flat colors, like you're doing a tattoo. And these paintings are quite quick. I can paint them in like one sitting or whatever. But whereas with I paint with my acrylic and gouache and watercolor paintings, those can take me like weeks to finish because a lot of them are really big and very detailed. But this is so much faster.
And this language, to develop this language that you showed us, did it took you like long time to do that?
No, I've been doing this for on and off now, because we're right now actually in Malaysia in our third lockdown. So I've been like, they'll have a lockdown. We had our first lockdown was 3 months. Then we went back to the tattoo shop for like 3 months. Then had a lockdown again. Then went back to the shop. Then now we're back in another lockdown. So it's frustrating because this time I was supposed to start actually tattooing, because I'm doing a very official apprenticeship. So you don't actually start tattooing till about a year in, versus like working on your drawing, working on learning how to set up station, clean, do everything sanitary and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been about a year now of like developing and learning how to do like tattoo style stuff and designing stuff for tattoos. Because the friend I'm learning from, he does very like Japanese style tattooing, very traditional tattooing. And I wanted to take that, but then take my own twist on it. So where it still has if like this dragon head, you can see it's still my stuff, but also like, quite or like a rose, traditional tattoo rose, but also has my kind of cartoony feel to it a bit, and have my own twist on it. So
it's looks super cool.
Thank you.
Really, and the frog is something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a frog with the eating the fly.
Yeah, that's nice. And okay, so now you like work in the workshop, and you managed to do something online with your store, right, on these days.
Yeah, well, especially before in the last couple lockdowns, I was selling a lot of original paintings on there, and actually went through my portfolio and just pulled out all the old stuff I could get out, and was selling a lot of paintings and T-shirts. I had a lot of T-shirts and stuff, and here in Malaysia, I've managed to get like nice bags made and like little pencil cases and all kinds of stuff like that. So I've focused more on that, like pushing that stuff out. And then work at the tattoo shop. But.
And for people that hear you right now and want to build the store, their online store, and all the stuff that to reach out other people and more clients, what will you advise them with store?
So okay, so like if you don't have a budget, really, you're starting out as an artist, you don't have budget to like produce stuff or get stuff made, especially in Israel where it's quite expensive. If you want to sell to international, you don't make a whole lot of money off of it. But I used to use Society 6 a lot, which I still have that store, and it kind of just sits there and makes money for me. But but when I first made it, I used to push it a lot, but now like I might make like an extra $100 a month off of that or something. But that's one thing you can do, where they make like pillowcases, T-shirts, all different kinds of stuff with your design. If you make the design and you just lay it out on there, you can sell stuff on. And there's a lot of different platforms like that. There's not just Society 6. There's better ones nowadays. I think, like I can't even remember. But the kind of thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? That kind of platform where they
something.
This kind of thing. Yeah, there's like where they produce it for you, but you have a shop. You actually have a shop. But I used to work with them a lot. They were pretty good to me. There's Redbubble, yes, all that kind of stuff. But you don't make very much money off of it. So if you can afford to make your own stuff and try to sell it, it's better. But for me, I do both. Like I have that shop that just sits there, and if people buy stuff off of it, cool, I make a little bit extra money. But then I also produce my own stuff, and it's a lot of self-promote. I mean, you have to shamelessly self-promote, use social media, use whatever to get your store out there. And now I've gotten to the point where every once in a while I'll make a post and promote it or whatever, but I'm not constantly pushing it or whatever. But
you want to talk a little bit about how often do you post, like on Instagram? How do you work with this social network?
Sure. So I used to be religious about it. I used to post once a day, and I think about the time when most people are going to be on. And because a lot of my followers are in the US, I would post like around 10 in the morning in the US time or something, or 9, or depending on the day, sometimes like 8 in the morning, like when people are just waking up, stuff like that. And then use hashtags, not tons of them, just use a few and promote my stuff that way. Which I mean, I think it's a great tool and it's important, but also don't let it like consume you. I have a lot of artist friends who are like, get really crushed. Oh, my post didn't get any likes or whatever. And it's like, there's an algorithm. Sometimes, and especially nowadays, back then when I first came out, I used to be able to think about this stuff, post at this time, and I would see like real benefit to it. But more and more, I still use Instagram and I post, but I don't post as consistently as I used to. Just because the algorithm and stuff, like, you might post one thing and I'll get like 700 likes. I'll post another thing and it gets like 100 something, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. So I think it's really important not to let it affect your self-worth or whatever, because I think a lot of artists do that. They're like, oh, I didn't get enough likes, so I must suck or whatever. It's like just take it with a grain of salt, because you don't know, one minute you might post, you get a lot of attention, and one thing you post, it won't get any, and that has more to do with the algorithm with Instagram than you probably, you know. But it's an effective, powerful tool. Just yeah.
So you don't have any FOMO these days?
Any what?
FOMO.
No, I've never been that way though. Like I mean, I just for me, like with art and stuff, my attitude is like, I make it for me first. Like I love to make and create stuff, and if I never make things like thinking like, ooh, this is gonna get a lot of like, or I don't make it thinking of the audience. I make it thinking about like, if I'm gonna like it first, am I enjoying this? Is this something that I like? And then if other people like it afterwards, that's like a bonus. And I think that for me at least, I think that's a better way to look at it, because I mean, yeah, I'm lucky that people like my stuff and that I'm able to sell and stuff. But at the end of the day, art is for me. It's my therapy, or my, like, you know, gets me through life. And I don't want to, I mean, but it also depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to like be a designer who's just designing things to sell, then okay. But for me, since I'm more of also an artistic background, I want to make things that I enjoy first. And if I let other people's opinions ruin that joy for me, then what have I done? You know? So
yeah. And what do you hear? Like, what do you listen to when you painting?
I listen to a lot of like chill music. I don't know if you know who The Blaze is. The Blaze, it's like chill, like electronic music. Chad Van Galen, he's like acousticy kind of chill music. And so a lot of that kind of stuff. And then also a lot of hip hop, like MF Doom. Stuff, yeah. Sarface, yeah. I don't know, a lot of like chill hip hop.
And any, oh, we didn't talk about this comic book. Can you tell about this comic book you didn't finish yet?
Sure. I haven't finished. I can show you a little bit if you want. That's one of the things I need to do on the lockdown. I'm gonna try to finish it, but I have this black and just black and white drawings, line drawings. But I've been working on this comic book for years. Actually, it's quite a lot of pages about this character. It's called Cosmic Safari, about a little monster guy who gets abducted by aliens from his planet and taken to a safari planet where there's like all kinds of different creatures from everywhere on this planet, and it's about him trying to escape the cosmic safari. And it's like just kind of a weird
text in it, like bubble text.
Yeah, there is. There's text, like comic book, like a lot of the pages are set up like this, like comic book style. So yeah.
So it's all drawn with pen?
Yeah, all with like micron pens and Sharpie. But now I started this like before, like a long time before iPad Pro and everything. I started it, and I spent something I just work on every now and then, just for fun. And but now that I have the iPad, I'm thinking to like, but it would be so much work, but just to take it and redraw it all in the iPad and but maybe I'll finish just drawing them all by hand and make it like that. But
you can like make it like, I don't know, 10 comics from this stack of papers. No, it's like
yeah.
You can cut it out.
Yeah, so shorten it down a bit. Yeah, probably.
Do like volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, or whatever.
Yeah. That's a good idea. I'll have to. I should probably do that. But it just kind of sits there. I work on it. I make like one page, and then I don't work on it again for like 5 months, and then I draw like some more pages for it. And but yeah, I've been, since sitting in lockdown, I'm like, I need to finish this thing and get it out into the world.
Yeah, animation. Yeah, animation and cartoon. You want to tell us something you like that inspired you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super influenced from the cartoons I loved as a kid and stuff. All my work is really influenced basically from the stuff I loved as a kid. So like Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if you know Ren and Stimpy, it's an older cartoon, but that was like my favorite cartoon as a kid. I've always loved animation. And actually, I went to school. I did go to school for a little bit in the States before I left to learn animation, but I never finished. And so it's been something I've always been interested in. And now with the iPad Pro or with the iPad, I can make it in Procreate, just hand draw it and stuff. It's super fun. So yeah, I love
Ren and Stimpy. It's like something you don't want to show to your kids or something.
For sure. Yeah, when I watch it now, I'm like, I can't believe I was allowed to watch this. But I love the whole era of cartoons. Actually, like I don't know if you had like Rocko's Modern Life,
yes.
Real Monsters. What else? There was a lot of good cartoons on Nickelodeon back then. Doug. Yeah, I love all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And from your like this project on Instagram and stuff like that, you get like clients that ask you do I don't know, a portrait of me and my wife or something like that, and
no, I don't ever really get. I mean, I've done like a few portraits of people, but they're usually, I mean, I have to tell them it's not gonna be like portrait, obviously. But I do get some commissions though, yes, but more for like, they'll just be like, can I get you to commission you to paint like my dog, like a crazy painting with my dog in it or something like that. And then also I've gotten a lot from Instagram design work, like I've done labels for beer brands and like different stuff like that. I did work actually for Universal Music with this like pop music group from Australia who also found me on Instagram. I designed stuff for a music video they did and stuff. And yeah, I mean, so I've gotten some pretty good opportunities from Instagram. But
is there any like a favorite genre you like to work with, like music or I don't know, in some industry you?
I really enjoy. Yeah, I mean, music stuff is always cool, especially working with bands. And if it's like bands that I like, especially it's cool. I can design T-shirts for them or do stuff like that. That's always fun. Yeah, no, I've gotten to work with probably my favorite clients I ever worked with was I worked with Converse in the past, which was cool, in Korea, which was really cool. Growing up wearing Converse, it was a cool opportunity to get to work with them and like design shoes that they sold at their stores in Korea. Vans, I did some stuff with Vans before, but not actual shoes, just some like zine stuff. Cool.
Okay, cool. And so we have this question about color. What's your favorite color of this area right now?
Of this area right now where you are? Pink. The bright pink.
Oh,
but if you notice, like my paintings, I use a lot of neon pinks and bright pinks, and I think that's my favorite color to use in art in general. It's pink.
And any artist you follow right now on Instagram or influence you, or just like you like to see his work every day?
There's some artists that I've been following forever that I really like that they're worth following are John Bohm. I like a lot. John McNair. I like actually this one is John Bohm. John McNair is an artist who's really amazing. My friend Mitz Gazer just commented. I don't know who else. Yeah, there's so many. It's hard to like think on the spot, but yeah.
Okay, and you didn't. What software do you use these days? You said Procreate, so.
Procreate, yeah, for sure. I use Procreate a lot. Most of the time, actually, I use Procreate. Actually, in the tattoo shop as well, everyone uses Procreate to draw their flashes. It's easy to print, airdrop it to the computer and print out your flash. And of course, Adobe Illustrator. It's like, I've been using that forever, but that's probably one of the main tools used a lot. And I recently downloaded a new animation program. I can't remember what it's called though. that's I haven't got to really mess with it too much.
Loom.
It seems pretty cool. Yeah.
Is it loom?
What's that?
Is it loom?
No, it's not. No. It starts with an I think. Anyways, yeah, I haven't really got to mess with it too much though. What is the one you just said?
The loom is a Ran Eleli. He's the guy yesterday been here. He developed this app with a partner. You should download. It's Loom with double O, I think.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Check it out. It's very abstract animation app. It's very cool. If you didn't, no, not if you didn't. What's like your next destination? If you would like take a globe and put your finger, where would you want to be right now with your family?
To live, maybe. I mean, if I could live anywhere in the world, honestly, without worry of cost and stuff like that, I would live in Tel Aviv. I loved Tel Aviv a lot. And that's not just saying that at all. Like, I absolutely loved it there, and my friends, I made such amazing friends there. It was so fun. It was just a fun city, you know. I think it's a pretty special place. Too bad it's so expensive, but yeah, I really loved it there. And if not there, I would maybe Greece, Athens. I really like the Mediterranean in general, though, like the food, the culture, like everything. But actually, yeah, maybe Greece, maybe Barcelona. Barcelona is also a cool city.
Yeah. And okay, so I have a lot of questions, but we ran out of time. So I just ask you if you want to tell us something that we don't know about yourself. A fun fact.
I don't know. It's a tough one, actually, that you don't know about me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I think I said pretty much most of the stuff.
Yeah.
Just singing hardcore bands. I used to. What's something obscure about me that you wouldn't
So
know?
you're still singing, like at the shower?
I know. I actually, before COVID, I had started a hardcore band with my friend that I'm learning to tattoo with here.
Oh.
We had started a hardcore band, him and my other friend, and the friend that runs the music venue here. We had a hardcore band. I was singing for. We only practiced twice, but then COVID came, and couldn't have shows anymore. Couldn't practice. So, and then my friend that I'm learning to tattoo from his wife just had twin daughters. So he's not going to be playing any music anytime soon. He's quite busy. But it was kind of only for fun, anyways.
So okay, that was really interesting talk, and it was fun because I think what's the time now? Okay, now time in Israel it's almost 11, and we got like another 2 talks, and
cool.
That'll be the end of the festival. So thank you, Chris, for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah. Nice to talk.
For sure.
Have fun with the rest of the festival.
I will. And if you don't know, it's you can not Google. You can Instagram Frenemy. That's his Instagram page. So follow him and see his work. And how can they see the work he did in Tel Aviv, like except in the streets?
So yeah, I mean, in Tel Aviv, you can find my work all. If you go to Florentine, there's work everywhere. I did a lot of painting there. The central bus station, I also have some murals at. What else? I think that's it now. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, cool. So this.
And I designed. There's a beer company there, Wilder. It's like some kind of beer. I did a little character for them, and they also made a puppet based on this character for all their advertising.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's something.
So they will Google it, I guess.
Yeah.
And so yeah, thank you for everybody that came to the conversation with Frenemy. Thank you for coming to the festival. We got next up. It's Daphna Wadish will join us. And yeah, thank you, Chris. And
hey, thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great day. I don't know what's 5 in the morning right now.
Yeah, it's 5 a.m. I'm gonna go back to bed.
So see ya and have a good one. Bye
Have a
bye.
good one. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.